Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to cover how to explore numerical data. We will see plotting of numerical data. That means we will see how to see relationship among those data. We will also cover exploring categorical data. Let us start with exploring numerical data. This dataset is an example from University of California Auto MPG dataset. This is just a simple snapshot. Original dataset actually contains 394. That means around 400 of set of data records. Now within this particular dataset, as you can see, there are some attributes. Some of these attributes are numerical data. So these are the actually automobile name, that means set of car names. This is the origin, the zone in which they have been manufactured. This is their model year, an year in which they have been manufactured. This is an acceleration rate. This is the weight of automobile, horsepower, displacement, cylinders, and MPG. So this data set is used to predict MPG values provided that all other values are given input to the machine learning. But here we are not discussing machine learning model, we are actually discussing data. 8 attributes are numerical attributes and only one attribute is categorical or quantitative attribute. Within this numerical attribute, as you can see clearly, cylinders, model year and origin are having discrete values. MPG, that is miles per gallon, for displacement, for horsepower, weight, acceleration are also numerical attribute, but they are of continuous type. That means they can have real values within them. Alright, so we have three attributes which are numerical and discrete, and we have remaining five attributes which are numerical and continuous. And we have only one attribute which is categorical. In this data set, my MPG is a target attribute. That means if I give this complete data set to machine learning system, at the end I would like to predict the value of MPG, that is miles per gallon, for given value of cylinders, displacement, horsepower, weight, acceleration, model year, origin and the car name. My system will take all of these attributes as input and produces this attribute as an output. That's why we say a predicted output attribute as target attribute. So this is my target attribute. Now, how to see the distribution of data, how to visualize the numerical data. We can explore numerical data with the help of mathematical plots, that are box plot and histogram. So let us see first how to explore numerical values with the help of box plot and histogram. Okay, so we first need to find out for box plot we would require some mathematical term. So let us start with mean. In statistics, the measure of central tendency is nothing but a central point of a data which can be found out with the help of mean, median and mode. Okay, so let us first discuss what is mean. Mean is nothing but sum of all data values divided by the count of data elements. Say for example, I have 5 data values. I will add those 5 values, divide by 5 will be the value of mean. Say for example, here it is 21, 89, 34, 67 and 96. And mean of these values is addition of all these values divided by 5, that is nothing but 61.4. The median, how to calculate median of given data set? So to calculate median of a given data set, we need to first arrange these values in increasing order. Whatever the middle element that appears in this ordered list is called as median. So this is the set of 5 elements. The middle element is 67. So they are getting arranged in some order and the middle value is taken out as a median value. Now consider we have two attributes. Alright, the attribute 1 is 44, 46, 48, 45 and 47. The mean is nothing but addition of all these. That means I will add them and I will divide it by 2. And mean of this value is also addition of these values and divide by 5. Now, mean of this and this, as you can see, is 46. Now, to calculate median, I will arrange this series into an increasing order and find out the middle value. So, middle value is 46 here also, as well as we have 46 middle value. After arranging them in increasing order, we get 46 also here. Now, as you can see, these two series are different, but they are having same mean and same median. Alright, so we are not having the spreading of the values. Now, what do we mean by spreading? Now, as you can see, what are the elements that are spread across this 46? Here we have 34, we have 39, here we have 59, and here we, 52 and 59. Alright, and here also middle value is 46, but the other values are 44, 45, we have 47 and 48. So as you can see, these values are spreading very near to my middle values. That is 44 and 45, 47 and 48 are very close to 46, whereas here values 34, 39, 52 and 59 are not as close to this 46 as compared to this series. So the spreading of values of a given series is not covered by mean and median. That's why we need something called as variance. Now, how to calculate variance? Variance is calculated as sum of square of terms divided by n minus sum of the terms divided by n whole square. Now, this can be calculated as variance for first attribute. That means for this particular series, I will square out all the terms minus sum of all the terms divided by 5 whole square. This value is turned out to be 2. So the variance of series 1 is 2. I also need to calculate the variance of series 2. Now series two's variance is series element square minus sum of all these terms divided by 5 whole square. Now this value is turned out to be 79.6. That is 79.6. Okay, so this is what variance is calculated, and we also can calculate standard deviation, which is nothing but square root of variance. So whatever answer we get over here 2, we will take square root of 2 and that will be my standard deviation. Here also we take 79.6, square root is nothing but my standard deviation of another series. Alright, so variance and standard deviation is giving the cluster around the mean. How attribute values are clustered around the mean? Are they close to the mean, or are these values are spread over the mean? Okay, now we quickly need to start with box plot. Now this box plot will also require something called as quartile. Now what do we mean by quartile? Say we arrange the data values in an increasing order. Okay, and say for example this is value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. They are an increasing order. Now we will calculate median, which divide the set into two halves. This is set of 10 elements and we find the median. Okay, so my fifth element or sixth element, this is the median. I will take fifth element, okay. So this fifth element is my median and I will call it as quartile 2. Median will divide our list into set of two lists. This is first half of list and this is second half of list. The middle of first half of list is, that means this element, the second element is a median of my first half list. Okay, so this is also median of first half list and I will call it as quartile 1. Similarly for second half list also, that means within this list I will find out the median value. So this is the median of second half list and I will call it as quartile 3. Since this is an ordered pair, obviously my first value in a list is the minimum value and the last value in this is maximum value. So here for box plot we would require 5 elements, minimum element, quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3 and maximum element. Now let's see box plot, or which is also called as whiskers plot. It is an effective way to give one-shot view of a data. So I have, say for example, hundreds of entries in one column. I want to see how this data is being spread, and I want to visualize this attribute values, a particular attribute value I want to visualize. I can easily use whisker plot or a box plot. And box plot is being plotted within having scale only in one y axis. On an x-axis, we do not have any scale. Okay, so what is this box plot and how it is being calculated? Let us start. For any data set, we can have minimum, maximum, quartile 1, quartile 2 and quartile 3 values. Say, and we need to make this something called as this box size. This is called as IQR, interquartile range. It is the rectangle, it is being shown with the help of rectangle, and median is shown with this thick line middle that rectangle. And above this rectangle, we must have something called as top whisker, or I would say it is an upper whisker. And this particular small line is called as lower or bottom whisker. What will be the length of this bottom and upper whisker? So bottom whisker and upper whisker must have can extend only up to 1.5 times of interquartile range. Now, how to calculate this box size and how to calculate the size of this particular whisker, let us understand with the help of example. Quartile 1 is at 67. As you can see closely, I don't know whether you are able to find out, but let me draw a line for you. This is at 67 and this is at, say, 74, and this median is at 70. Okay, so the interquartile range is between Q1 to Q3. That means I can easily find out 74 minus 67, that is my IQR is 7. Now to find out lower whisker, which can extends up to only 1.5 times of IQR, which is lesser than quartile 1. So what we will do? We will do quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR. That is 67 minus 1.5 into 7, that is equal to 56.5. Now this whisker is giving me minimum value. So whatever minimum that you are getting from data set which might get outside this whisker value is something called as an outlier. Now, how to find out that? Look at into this. We have say data set 59, 57 and 51, and our lower whisker can only extend up to 56.5. So from this data, we have to find out the lowest value which is larger than this. So the lowest value is 51. Is it largest? Is it larger than 56.5? No. Take 57. The next lowest value is 57. So is 57 larger than 56.5? Yes. So we will have our smallest or lower whisker at 57, right? So if I project it, this is actually 57. So this is my lower whisker. And this data 51 which was not able to fit is called as an outlier. As you can see at 51 we have something point called as an outlier. Likewise, we can calculate upper whisker. So upper whisker can extend maximum up to 1.5 of IQR, that is interquartile range, which is more than quarter 3. So I will write down the range is quartile 3 plus 1.5 of interquartile range, that is 74 plus 1.5 into 7. This 7 value I have taken, which is equal to 84.5. Okay, and we have data 79, 89 and 72. So at what point I need to put my upper whisker? Upper whisker can be placed at any highest value which is lesser than this given value. So the highest value is 89. Is it lesser than 84.5? No. The next highest value is 79. Is the 79 lesser than 84.5? Yes. So we will have our upper whisker at 79 at this location. And a data which was not able to fit inside it, that means at 89, this is also called as an outlier data. Now let us understand how to interpret a given box plot. Remember at the starting of this lecture, I have discussed an MPG data set. Actually, there were 398 entries in data set. In this given table, we have only chosen one attribute that is called as cylinder. Now, possible values of cylinder can be 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Now, these values are appearing multiple times. That means we can have multiple rows whose value for cylinder is having 3. So, there are in total 4 data values, 4 rows for which we have cylinder value 3. There are 204 data entries in a table for which we have cylinder 4. Likewise, for cylinder 5, we have only 3 entries in original data set, and so on. We have prepared this frequency table. Now, what is cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency is the sum of frequency of all previous entries. Now, this cumulative frequency last value says that there are 398 rows available in a given data set. We need to find out, or we need to make a box plot of this particular data set. Now, don't look at this particular diagram. I will draw a box plot for you here. Okay, and number of cylinders are starts from 3. We have 4, we have 5, set of 6 cylinders, 7 cylinders, and at the end we have 8 cylinders. Okay, now we first need to find out the median of this particular data set. But you know that this data set needs to get ordered. So as you can see, cylinders are ordered and here their cumulative frequencies are ordered. If there are 398 observation or data rows, then median will be at which row? Median will be at 398 divided by 2. That means at 199th row or an 199th observation, we will have median. Do we have 199th entry at 4 record? No, obviously not. Do we have 199th entry in 208th record? Yes, of course. We will have 199th entry here because 199 is lesser than 208. So at 199th record, what will be the value of cylinder? It will be 4. So I will plot this value with dark line. So this, as if you are able to see or not, I don't know. This is the dark line which is giving me quartile 2. So I have plotted this dark line which is my quartile 2. Now quartile 1 is nothing but the middle of 0 to 199th is 0 minus 199 or 199 minus 0 divided by 2, which is equal to 99.5. That means whether the observation of 99th sample or 100th sample. So 100th sample or 99th sample will fall here and they will also have a value 4. That means quartile 1 is also set to 4. Quartile 1 is nothing but the boundary, lower boundary of my box. Now, how to find quartile 3? You know that the middle of median of first quartile is 99.5th entry. That means from top I will go and check up to 99.5th entry which falls at this location. Okay, so from bottom half list I want to find median. I will take 99.5th entry from bottom. So I will take 398 which is a bottom value minus 99.5 that is equal to 298.5 observation or that sample. So I can either consider 298th sample or 299th sample. Let us check where 298th or 299th sample will fall. Will it be here? No, of course. Will it be here? No, no, no. 295 is quite lesser than 298 and 299. This is 295. Will it covering 298? No, obviously not. So this here, this will cover my 298th sample and 299th sample. Alright, so the value that we get for quartile 3 is 8. So my quartile 3 value is 8. You know that this is my median, original median quartile 2. This is my quartile 1 also. That means output of this box plot will look like this. Now we also need to find out minimum and maximum value. Minimum value is 3 and maximum value is 8. So we can have a lower whisker at 3, but we do not have space to have upper whisker at 8. Because quartile 3 itself is at 8. So we cannot have any length of whisker at upper side. Okay, so as you can see, this is the distribution of cylinder in a given MPG dataset. Now let us prepare a box plot of origin attribute. So there are again 398 entries in original data set, and there are only 3 passable values of origin. Either a car can be manufactured in zone 1, that means origin is 1, or it can be manufactured in zone 2, that is origin 2, and zone 3, that is origin 3. Now, how many cars are manufactured at origin 1? So there are 249 cars. Total 70 cars are manufactured at origin 2 and 79 cars are manufactured at origin 3. Now, if I order these data and if I find cumulative frequency, that means first copy this value, add these two, produce this, add these two and produce this. So this is my given table and I need to make a box plot. Okay, so don't look at this box plot. Let me plot over this size. My origin starts from 1 and goes up to 3. So over the left hand side, we will start with 1 and we will go up to 3. Now we have in total 398 samples. And middle of 398 from 0 is 398 divided by 2, that is 199th sample. Do 199 is less than 1 for 249? Yes. So my median will have value of origin as 1. So my quartile 2 will be, that dark line will be at 1. Okay, and median of first half. So first half is having 199 entries divided by 2, that means 99.5th observation. So is 99.5 is lesser than 49? Yes. So my quartile 1 will also have origin as 1 entry. So this will be the outline of my box. Third quartile will be 99.5 lesser than 398, that is 298.5th entry. So let me find out 298, does it less than this? No. 298, is it less than this? Yes. So for quartile 3 we will have value 2. So my box that starts here at 1 will finish its value at 2 because this is my quartile 3. This is my quartile 1 also. Okay. Now, I need to find minimum and maximum value. Here, minimum value is 1. So, we have median as well as lower bound of box. I cannot have a space for lower whisker. So, this is my minimum and maximum value here is 3. So, 3 will be here. This will be my whisker. Is it 1.5 greater than quartile 3? So 2 into 1.5 is obviously more than 3. So we will have a upper whisker at 3 only. Here one exercise is given to you. We have two different box plots. You have to find out value of minimum, quartile 1 value, quartile 2 value, quartile 3 value, maximum value and interquartile range from given diagram. Now histogram, which is another way to visualize attribute data. It is an effective visualizing technique for numerical attribute. It helps us to understand the distribution of numerical data. Here we create something called as bin. Say for example, age of a person may range from 0 to 100. So we can create bins for age, say from 0 to 5 age, 5 to 10 age, 11 to 15 age, 16 to 20 age and so on. We can change the size of bin. Likewise, we can have a person from age 0 to 10, 11 to 20 and so on. But we can distribute data set according to the bin size to an attribute size. So likewise, we can put the data set into the bin, which will give the height of the bar. So histogram basically focuses on the plot range of data values that are called as bins, and element in a bin depends upon the data in a data set. If there are more data set which are having a person with age 11 to 20, the bar of 11 to 20 will be the highest and so on. So the size of bar will be vary according to the data present in data set. This size or this shape of histogram gives us something called as skewness. Skewness of a histogram will tell us the nature of data, where data is more dominant, whether it is in the starting range, whether it is dominant in middle, whether it is not dominant anywhere, it is randomly distributed or something else. So the pattern of histogram will gives the understanding of data and it acts as a data exploration tool. As you can see, if data is symmetric or if it is uniformly distributed, we will have the size of bar which is having equal, right? So they are nearly equal or an equal size of bar will give us uniform distribution of data. That means data in each and every bin is uniformly distributed. This is bell-shaped curve that we are getting. This is called a symmetric or unimodal bell shape skewness of data, where data is more dominant in the middle bin as compared to the starting and last bin. Left skewed data, if I say, will have a slope which is positive. That means data is more dominant towards the right as compared to left. And right skewed is having negative correlation. That means data over the left or starting bin is more dominant as compared to the last bin. Bimodal basically distribution is having two bells where we have the highest distribution of data at two different peaks. If peaks are more than one, we can say it is multi-modal data. That means we can have more than one mode in a given data. That means this is my first mode, second mode, third mode, and fourth mode. Alright, so this kind of multi-modal data. So histogram as well as box plot will give us meaningful insight to an attribute which is of numerical type. Let us inspect this particular histogram which is giving acceleration to the frequency. Now as you can see, this histogram is composed of say 7 bars and the size of each bar is of 2. So here acceleration is from 8 to 10, this is 12, this is 14 and 16. This is 18 to 20, 20 to 22, 22 to 24 and the last is 26. So acceleration of automobile vehicle ranges from C8 to 26 and each bin size is of 2. Okay, so acceleration from 8 to 10 will number of samples will be counted here. And now acceleration samples from 10 to 12 will be counted in this bin and so on. And over the y attribute we have set of frequencies. Frequency will give me number of count how many samples are there that fit inside this particular bin. So here interval of bin is of 2 units and as you can see the number of samples which are very less in the bin from 24 to 26 and highest number of samples that fits those number of samples are 120. 120 samples are there in a acceleration bin size from 14 to 16 and number of samples in this particular window 10 to 12 is actually 30. Okay, so the number of count of samples we can identify how many rows will have value what according to this part. So this is giving me meaningful insight of the given data set. Here one exercise is for you. You have to analyze given two different histograms and you have to note down the number of observation. You have to find out what is the size of bin and number of count of samples that lies or that falls within particular bin for each of this. First histogram is given for origin attribute and second histogram is given for horsepower attribute. Now we have seen how to look or how to measure, how to see insight of numerical data. But how to see meaningful insight of categorical data. Remember categorical data does not have numerical value like 1, 1.5 and so on. They are actually having textual input. It can be nominal or it can be an ordinal data. So if data is nominal or unordinal, we first need to convert it into numerical data. The reason behind this is that machine learning algorithm cannot process this categorical data directly. They first need to get converted into numerical data. So the details of categorical data processing and exploring them after converting into numerical will be the same as the numerical data, but the process of converting categorical data into numerical data will be covered in detail in unit number 4. That is all for today. In today's video, we try to cover how to explore numerical data, what are the different plotting numerical data to see the inside of the data, and how to explore categorical data. Thank you everyone for watching this video. This is Munira Tobia signing out.